It's that time of the year. Your vacation is coming up. You can already hear the beach waves, feel the warm breeze, relax, and think about work. You really, really want it all to work out while you're away. Monday.com gives you and the team that peace of mind. When all work is on one platform and everyone's in sync, things just flow. Wherever you are, tap the banner to go to Monday.com.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Global All-Stars Season 1, Episode 1, titled Global Talent Extravaganza Part 1. My name is Joe Batanz, and I am joined, as always, by one licentious co-host from Rulaska Thoughts. Please say hello to...
This Roberto Mata.
Hello, Robert.
That's what Clip Zero's from? An archive?
I think it's only going to be... I don't want to pull Clip Zeros for this season.
Wait, I don't... So you're saying I don't get Clip Zero? Why aren't I good enough?
Look, I'll tell you what. If you can think of a Clip Zero... I didn't hear anything that was interesting at all in this episode, or...
It's your job to find it, though. You're supposed to excavate the script and figure out a way that something that sounds funny out of context. I failed.
But you know what? I'll just say, for this week... the Clip Zero is
this Roberto Mata.
Anyway, Robert,
I want him to do audiobooks.
I wish he would call. He did call in again one other time. Remember to
to
do it for other people. But I wish he would. I wish he would come in again. I miss him. If I'm being honest with you.
Same.
Robert, now you've done this show before, but now you're like a host. You're not just there's no Rulaska Thoughts for this. It's just
I've graduated.
Well, you're gonna go back to Rulaska Thoughts. Don't you prefer Rulaska Thoughts? Don't you prefer that?
I mean, I definitely like low pressure situations where I only have to talk to my friend for an hour and then not think about it again for another week.
Oh, by the way, everyone should know. And actually, I'm glad we can talk about this right here. There's a text group thread with me, Robert, and silent co-host Christian Ochoa. And I saw this clip of, I think it was a Ricky Lake episode, of this queen from the 90s just coming in and wreaking havoc on the stage. And I sent the link to the group with us, but I forgot to write the part. There was supposed to be a text part that said, Christian every time he comes on Rulaska Thoughts. But I forgot to put it.
Okay, thank you.
And then Christian just wrote question mark. But wait, Robert, you didn't get that this was supposed to be Christian?
I mean, I definitely got that it was in part Christian. I wasn't sure if it was also me, because you sent it to both of us. So I thought you were saying that I was also that queened out little fag on the show, which I would live for. I'd love to be a queened out fag on a 90s talk show, actually.
Ricky Lake should bring her show back. I don't know why it left, but we need more of that, over the top gay person who called out his boyfriend and the audience hoops and hollers. But you know what? We should have a gay host. I'm pitching myself.
Delta Work is trying to do that, I think.
Delta Work, you're right. I think me. I'm sorry. I think me. By the way, when Dragula comes back, we will bring back it'll be Just Between Us Ghouls with me and Lori. But until then, we have been replaying bonus content from the tea for people who subscribe. So it's usually only available to Patreon members, but they're getting it until we get Just Between Us Schools comes back. Last week they got a story about Star's grandfather when he blew in a cake, and Lori tried desperately to stop him from blowing on the cake. And it's a crazy story, but yeah. But anyway, if you want to get Rulaska Thoughts early, if you want to watch Rulaska Thoughts, you can do that over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Join at the premium level and above to get all that content. Yeah, everyone's getting to see Roberto Mata right now in the flesh.
Close enough, right?
The sexy Roberto Mata.
You could also just go to High Tops any weekend night, and I'll be there too.
I go there all the time. You're never there.
Girl, no, you're not.
That's how invisible I am. This week, 12 former contestants from Drag Race franchises around the globe convene to discover who is the queen. But I repeated that. Who is the queen of the globe? So let's do that again. From Drag Race franchises across the world, convene to discover who is the queen of the globe. For this week's Maxi Challenge, half the girls participated in part 1 of the Global Talent Extravaganza. In the end, Alyssa Edwards and Kween Kong were named the top 2 All-Stars of the week. And after a lip-sync battle for the globe, RuPaul shantaed both queens in a tie, leaving the remaining queens to battle it out for their own spot in part 2. Roberto Mata. Wait,
This Roberto Mata.
Did the right queens win the talent show, and did the right queens win the lip sync? Go.
Alyssa, I thought should have definitely won the talent show. I wasn't sure why Queen also won, but I'm sure we'll get to that in some indeterminate number of times. But Alyssa should have definitely won the lip sync also, actually. Her dressed up in that big hair with that disco ball outfit made me feel like I was seeing drag again for the first time. It was so fucking euphoric and cute and fun. Maybe it was also like, it was like 1 a.m. on a Thursday night when I watched it, so maybe I was also just tired and delirious, but I loved it. I love watching Alyssa Edwards.
So first of all, yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Alyssa Edwards should have won the talent show, which is going to go against my rules, but we'll talk about that when we get to the talent show. And she should have won the lip sync. What this episode reminded me of, I'd forgotten, and maybe that's even the biggest insult to Kween Kong. I forgot about the hatred I have for this Kween fucking Kong. I cannot stand her. I cannot hatred
My God,
with a
Joe.
D.
Already?
Yes.
It's been one episode.
No. I watched her original season. I hated her all through her original season.
For sure.
I hated her on that season. And then even
she's a completely different person now. Haven't you seen The Confessional?
I can't talk. Well, no, we're talking about the lip sync. Let me tell you this.
Oh, yeah, you do have this.
No, I have a bunch of things. First of all, I'm sick of hearing about her fucking ancestors. If I ever got the time machine, I'd go and get rid of all her ancestors. That's just to prevent her from coming, right?
What a horrible thing to say.
I hate her ancestors. Hate them. All I've done, I've never heard. Have you ever heard more about a drag queen's ancestors than from Kween Kong? She thinks she's like in Moana or something like that. She thinks she's The Rock.
The gag is that on Canada's Versus the World, they just did the Moana song. It was funny.
The one
as
from
shit.
the I Wish song from there. The like.
The I Want song.
Yeah.
You know. Na, na. But a lot of queens do that, where they don't really have a lot of like individualized like sense of who they are apart from being representation. So all they talk about is representation all the time, which actually makes me think that it's probably not the queens themselves only speaking about like being Samoan or being Mexican or being black, but maybe the editors who are just only including the clips where they talk about it over and over again. Maybe the editors think they're doing something good and powerful in doing so, but then they just kind of pigeonhole the queen into just that. I can't believe we're starting off the whole season with this conversation.
I hate her. This whole episode will be about my hatred for Kween Kong. And then I'm kind of...
Well, that's a way to start.
I'm kind of glad on the first fucking episode she did that stupid fucking barrel roll. That, look...
So you hate Star Fox?
Well, here's the deal. Who's Star Fox? Oh, for the video game character? The Nintendo character?
Yeah. The barrel roll.
That's not where she got it, though, from. She's not that savvy.
I mean, I don't think anyone got it from
do you
there,
have
but
the
that's
gay
like
thirst
it's like a meme.
For Star Fox that a lot of gays do? Oh, really?
No, but I've told you this before. My algorithm thinks I'm a furry because God knows what I clicked on to make it think so. I haven't seen a lot of Rule 33 of Star Fox.
I'm sure it exists. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, I'm certain. That's the whole point of Rule 30.
Reddit.
Is it 31, 31, 32, 33, 34?
Reddit.
Rule 34. It's
Reddit,
34.
Star Fox porn.
Is he like fucking Falco? Slippy?
Oh, girl, there's a whole subreddit for it.
I'm sure like there's so much like nastiness of crystal.
Star Fox porn.
Crazy.
I wonder what's there.
Peppy the Hare.
Oh, wait, come on.
I've actually never even played a Star Fox game. I don't know why I know
There's
all those
only 2
characters'
posts.
Well, 2 more than there should be. Anyways, back to Kween Kong. Girl. Wait, who is that? Is that Wolf?
I think it's a...
It's glaring too much, but the bulge is quite something.
Reminds me of Robert's post he took down.
That's Falco. That ain't Falco.
Anyway.
There's so many memes you don't know.
Anyway, this stupid bear. I'm glad because you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Nobody watched this Drag Race Down Under. I did.
You did.
But nobody else watched it. So I'm sure queens, gays around the world who are watching this for the first time were like, oh my God, oh, look at that move, right? Guys, let me tell you, if you didn't watch Down Under, this Kween Kong was in, okay, first of all, let me give you the history of Kween Kong. Everybody got their own little package or video package, but they didn't do the right video package for Kween Kong. Here was the video package they should have done. She strutted into this fucking workroom like the way, you know, the way Alyssa was deservedly so on this show, because she has the talent and the experience on the show to back up it. She walked in that way on her season of Down Under. Okay. And they were, oh my God, Kween Kong, right? As if she was the Sasha Colby, right?
In essence, yeah.
And then, like, the first 4 or 5 episodes, she was in the bottom every fucking week and had a lip sync.
Not every week.
And she was crying. And every fucking lip sync, she did this fakakta barrel roll. I think there was even one she did it twice, you know? And it was worse than just fucking Detox with the jaw, right? She did this barrel roll. I've seen it so many times. And now she did it again. And I'm like, and I even saw she put out a video of her practicing the barrel roll and how she's gotten better at the barrel roll. I wish she would barrel roll right at the show.
I would love to see an edit of every single barrel roll in succession, like just her rolling in the sky for 10 whole seconds.
You know, she doesn't realize, and this is true for a lot of our ancestors, by the way, not just her. Her ancestors are barrel rolling in their graves that their progeny... their progeny is a cross-dressing faggot on a TV show.
I don't know why you're like filled with such hate.
I don't like her. The way she comes. And here's the thing I don't get either. Like, you know, for instance, I'll use you, Robert, right? You're thirsty for this Mike Ruiz, okay? Now, personally, I don't see it, okay? But I get it. I see Mike Ruiz, like, oh, look, he's not my type, but I get it. My friend today showed me a gay guy at his office, and he's like, "Oh, do you like him?" I go, I don't know. I was on the fence, right? But I was like, but I get it. I get why he would be popular with the gays and people would like it. There are so many gays, I remember turning down, who were thirsty for this Kween Kong. Thirsty for her. And I'm like, why? I don't get it. Now, by the way.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. No, I don't know. They're not. I hope so.
Although I did find it hilarious that in her flashback recap little bit, they had like a 4-second long video of her just doing a selfie video walking shirtless along the beach. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Can I tell you something? I'll just say this now because I'll show you how unattractive I don't like this.
It's not her fault, by the way.
I don't like this Kween Kong at all. Maybe she is attractive. I just hate her so much. I just don't find her attractive. I'm going to admit this right now. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to look up this fucking bitch's name. I forgot what it is. The one from Brazil. Oh, Miranda Le Brao.
Miranda Le Brao?
This is a weird thing. I found a kink that I never knew.
Oh.
When she was talking about how she was a burn victim, I'm not going to lie, it turned me on. I don't know why. I don't get it. I was like, ooh, I kind of want to...
You've been watching Saw lately?
I kind of want to get with her because she's a burn victim. I don't know why. It's really weird. Because before that, I thought she looked like Joel Grey in Cabaret. Like she was going to be like, welcome and bienvenue, welcome. And I was like, that's what she looked like.
I don't know if you were the best equipped to recap Global All-Stars.
Why not? I'm a globalist. Of course I should. I'm shaped like a globe. There it is.
Your cultural sensitivity, girl.
I have nothing doing with Brazil. I'm just saying, how would it be? I'm saying something positive. I just thought it was funny. I want to have sex with her because she was burned. Is that wrong?
Did you notice that Nelenia greeted her and said, "Hola, cómo está?"
No, she did not.
She did.
Oh, see, that is camp. I didn't see that.
That's why I love this show.
Yeah. Okay. All this to say, we're going to be 20 minutes in. This is where we take a break. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the rest of the episode.
Hi, Bald. It's me, Trixie Mattel, skinny legend and board-certified HVAC sommelier.
And me, Katya Zamolodchikova, the sweatiest creature in showbiz, reminding you to subscribe to the Bald and the Beautiful podcast.
Listen as we cover topics as varied as proper bidet usage, celebrity impression tutorials, and a television show I recently watched that I'll base my entire personality on for 6 weeks.
As well as creative pest control, tasty limeade recipes, and fun sex act trend.
We also chat about boobs and movies and wigs and stuff, which is obviously the public service part of the podcast.
So get ready for screaming, cackling, and some occasional educational moments as two massively unqualified queens talk about what it's like to be the epitome of fabulous.
Go subscribe to The Bald and the Beautiful with Trixie Mattel and Katya Zamolodchikova on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now.
And we are back on the main stage. The girls parade one by one in front of the judges and answer silly questions pageant style. And they were as follows. We're going to go one by one, just really briefly. You can give whatever thoughts you want as we go in. Athena Likis from Belgium, season 1, Drag Race Belgique. Any thoughts on her, Robert?
I think she's great. And this is an overarching criticism, but I don't understand if you're going to do like a parody of a pageant question and answer session, why would you give such awful goddamn questions?
Yeah.
Especially to people with English as an alternate language. Like they have to literally in their first time meeting RuPaul and Michelle and Jamal just come up with something witty and quick on the spot that's like, what came first, the chicken or the fucking egg? What is that? It was terrible.
Honestly, I actually would really like this if it was the same format. They walked in, they strutted across the main stage, we saw their outfit, they go to the back of the stage, and then they give the stupid quippy line that they prepared for the workroom and then walked off. I think that would be great. I would like that.
I'm sure it would have made them a lot more comfortable than being put on the spot immediately. Yeah. And then like Athena's answer was very unfortunately strange and uncomfortable. And I'm like, this is how we're opening this supposed once in a lifetime event season, with Michelle giving a patronizing smile and asking whether the fucking chicken or egg came first. And a queen has to figure out.
And kind of bold to come for RuPaul the first time you've ever seen her. And you're like, well, RuPaul's older than chickens or eggs.
It desperately needed workshopping, but it's not Athena's fault whatsoever. I also would have been like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to say? A circle has no beginning?
Yeah. I think it would always work. You should be prepared for this when you go on there. Is just, and Kitty Scott Claus did something similar, is just go for absurd. We'll go for the chicken or the egg.
Well, which
picnic.
Yeah. Which led into Miranda's, which was, in what logic of hers is RuPaul able to bestow upon her 4 vaginas?
Yeah, so Miranda Le Brao came in. She's from Brazil, season 1. And you're talking about her.
Yeah, I can't remember. Do you have the exact question? Was it like, would you rather live without arms or legs or something like that? And she says, I'll live without all of them if RuPaul will give me 4 vaginas. Which, first, what are you even going to do with 4 vaginas?
Would you want a vagina, though? You don't have to get rid of your penis. You don't have to get rid of your penis. But in the taint, between your asshole and your penis, you get a fully functioning, sensitive with feeling vagina.
Can I return it if I don't like the experience?
Yes, but I can't think of it right now. There would be some sort of mild punishment if you do to deter you from just turning it in.
Like I'd have a vagina scar for the rest of my life? Which wouldn't be bad.
Yes. There'll be something like, I don't remember what it is yet.
If a genie offered me to try out a vagina for a week, I'd be down for sure.
Okay. All right.
4? I don't think so.
No, I don't
That's a
want
lot
4.
to take care
Look,
of.
a lot of women don't like 1, not because of any because then you get 4 periods.
Imagine how much you waste on feminine products. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you get like 4 gynecologists?
4, and then 4 pap smears and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
there are a lot of
4
problems.
times the risk. Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why would Miranda want a life like that?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. Pythia, Canada, season 2. Now you're a big fan of hers, aren't you?
I am. She was put on the spot, and so she made chicken noises, and she said she was out of the box.
I was embarrassed for her.
I think it was unfortunate.
I was embarrassed for her. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, imagine.
I was
like
too.
You and me one day start making chicken noises in front of RuPaul.
Yeah. But I think that she's going to prove herself later, so I'm not worried about my girl.
Okay, I thought about your punishment if you turn your vagina in.
Okay.
You lose all memory that you went to Stanford.
So it's much like my normal life, apart from any time I'm around you.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, all right. Oh, God.
Oh, who is it? Queen
Next is Kween Kong from Down Under season 2.
You're so nasty.
I don't like her. She came in. Okay, first of all, now, by the way, a lot of the. I'm sorry, give your opinion first. She walked in.
I thought that. I think she was the first one that I was like, oh, budget issues. Because her look wasn't finished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really. Yeah. And she definitely does. I know this is a phrase you like to turn, but she definitely does enter spaces like she's the cock of the walk. That's for sure. Yeah. I think she's still talented, though. I don't hold any of the disdain you do for her, but she's not my favorite either. So
a lot of queens do this. I know Miranda Le Brao did this and whatnot, and other queens too. But they do this thing. I think it's a lot, and I have a theory about this. I'll tell you why in a second. But a lot of drag queens do this thing where they make a joke, and then they immediately laugh after they make a joke, or say. Sometimes they don't make a joke, sometimes they just say things and then just laugh.
Yeah, that's how I talk.
Yeah, well, and I don't know what it is. I don't notice it with most people, but when this Kween Kong, she does it, and it made my skin fucking crawl. And then she said, she said, I wrote it down. God. She goes, I don't know if she said I'm back, bitches, but she said I'm back. No one knew she was gone. Did she realize no one watched Down Under? No one watched. She goes, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
Season 2 was the best season of Down Under, though. And I think Queen's Gravitas was a part of that.
Season 2, who was the one that had the racist girl with the tattoos?
That was
Karen from Finance.
That was season 1, the Gollywog tattoos.
Who had, besides Kween Kong, who won season 2? Oh, the one from New Zealand.
Spanky.
Yeah, okay. All right. Next, we have Soa de Muse from France. You're a big fan of hers as well, France season 1.
I think she's great. I think that she probably made the judges laugh the most in her entrance, which that was the second Jamal's having sex with me joke.
Yeah, what? You know what?
I think it's...
What a good transition. What do you think of Jamal Sims on the judges panel?
I'm a fan. He has such a great energy.
You know what? I was going to say, it's the perfect balance. It's not Merle Ginsburg invisibility, but it's not...
I live for Merle.
It's not like Santino Rice or anybody else like trying too hard. It's just the right. He's comfortable in his own skin. I like them.
It's good to have someone there who's like musically inclined. That's not Michelle Visage talking about seduction again.
Yes. Yeah. Nalenia, Italy season 2.
She did, I think, what everyone does, which is default to blue humor, right? But it's also drag, so it's not like I'm raising my nose up at that. It's just, at this point, it's like, oh, wow, these entrances are all going to be exactly the same. Think quickly on your feet and come up with a crew joke quick.
And
hers was about subverting, like, big hands, which is common.
I'll be honest with you, and I've seen both episodes. We're not going to talk about episode 2, but I've seen both episodes. And rewatching episode 1, they really didn't focus for the most part on any of the girls who didn't go this week. They did a little bit, but not really. And so I don't really have a big opinion on girls who didn't go this week. So she's fine. I remember her. She was giving me Theresa May vibes. I don't know why, but not funny.
Nilenia's more interesting than
I
that.
think I just think pudgy, dark-haired guy. Thank you.
Dark-haired?
Nilenia has dark hair, doesn't she?
It's like the sandy
I
Italian
don't remember.
brown.
I have no opinion of her. Next, we have Tessa Testicle, who did not go this week, but was a big part of this episode. She is from Germany, season 1. You know, I noticed this time, based on things she said and also her little title card, she went home fairly early, it looks like, and she lip-synced 4 times. So did she lip-sync every episode she was on?
Almost. I think all but one. Yeah.
Were you a fan of hers?
She's pretty fierce. I didn't finish Germany. I think I got like 4 or 5 episodes into it. I think I actually got right before Tessa went home. And I just kind of thought that she was this like snotty little rabble rouser. And it seems like she's kind of the same character this season so far. I like her, I should say. I call people like harsh words like that, but I end up liking them anyway. So I like the character. I think it's a interesting contrast to all the poised runners up, you know?
Okay, very good. I mean, she's fine. We'll talk about her in the course of the episode. She's in part of a couple of the storylines, so she'll come up. But for the most part, I don't really have a negative opinion of her. Next, we have, I think, both of our sweetheart, Galavaro from Mexico, season 1. Your thoughts on Galavaro? Oh,
I'm trying to does my mouth look anywhere near as big as hers?
No. Do you think it does?
Because I don't know. I'm just curious because I've called her the Cheshire Cat of Mexico ever since Mexico season 1, and she's not beating those allegations anytime soon. She is just I've never seen a human with a mouth like that.
Is that a turn off for you?
No, I like big mouths. Not for any particular reason, I've just noticed. But anyways, Galavaro looked fantastic, and I don't know why she did the the Mexican thing and responded to every question in Spanglish, which I thought that was funny.
It shows you how much I love Spanglish. I didn't notice. You know what's funny is
really?
I don't generally speak in Spanglish, but, you know, I also absorb how people talk. And so my therapist, the Mexican Ross Matthews, he speaks in Spanglish. I mean, a lot.
To you?
Oh, yeah, to me. Yeah.
In session?
In session. Pure Spanglish.
I guess when else are you talking to him?
Yeah.
So.
And I find myself now, I'm talking in Spanglish back to him.
Girl.
Yeah. I started speaking
I
Spanish.
didn't realize you're the Duolingo owl.
I'm not. I just I just know how to speak Spanglish. So like the other day we were just, you know, kikiing it up at the end of the session, and I was walking down the hallway after I left, and he goes, "Oh my God, we didn't set the next appointment." And then I was like, "Of course, we're just chismeando the whole time." At the end, he said I was saying stuff like that. Like, actually, I don't do.
Does that count as Spanglish?
I'm counting it as Spanglish. Girl, I was cocoa. I was coking it. I was giving cocoa. I was just, and I was a skeleton in a mariachi outfit and all that shit. Okay, next we have
all right, work
Eva
it.
La Queen from the Philippines, season 1.
Good for her. She didn't take it in a sexual route, and she talked about not having chapped lips. I thought that was cute. She seemed great. I mentioned that I didn't really connect with her on Philippines season 1, but I'm already enjoying her a lot more this season.
I'm about to tip my hand at episode 2, but I want to comment right here. Like, I didn't watch Philippines, but everything that I'm seeing, at least the people that they've put forward for the international seasons, the Filipinos are good at fucking drag and drag race.
That's for sure.
Yeah, man, they got it down. Next, we have Vanity.
I love our Asian cousins.
Vanity Vane from Sweden, season 1. Your thoughts on Vanity Vane?
I think she's like the one that I don't fully understand her character fully, but I appreciate that she's a grump like me. You know, very curmudgeonly, very like, ugh, about everything. I don't really fully understand her signature drag yet, though. But it's early. It's early as shit, actually. So
I don't really have an opinion on her yet because just she wasn't really. She was a little bit of a talking head in this episode, but nothing that you would have an opinion on her personality. I did clock though, because I know Galavado's tall. I think it's hard to tell because
I don't. She looks like a pocket.
You know
kid.
what? You know what it is? She was in Drag Race Mexico. And Mexicans are not known as the tallest person. I'm 5'7", and I'm clearly in the middle, the average Mexican guy height. Robert and Christian are very tall for Mexicans.
We're 6 feet tall, yeah.
So I'm at an average. If I go to Mexico, I'm average height. Okay. So, and there's people who are, I'm in the median, I'll even say. I'm median height in Mexico. And
yeah, 5'4" is not unusual.
Yeah, so maybe in Mexico, Galavado just seemed taller because they were all so short.
I think that is the case, to be honest with you. And not to scoot forward too quickly, but it seems like there's a similar thing going on in Colombia because all of those dancers were pretty close to the ground.
I'm going to tell you, well, you know I love a short gay. Oh, by the way,
who doesn't?
I went to a get-together yesterday, and there were some industry people there that I know, but the reason I bring that up is there was a music industry person there, and I knew this already. I was laying the seeds, and I said to him, I go, listen, because he asked me about Sloppy to Poppy.
Okay.
And he goes, oh, how's that going? I've been watching, it's fun, whatever. And I go, let me tell you something. The whole mission of this Sloppy to Poppy is when I'm ready, I said, when I'm ready, I'm going to come to you. And I'm going to say, you need to connect me with this David Archuleta. Because he knows David Archuleta. And he goes, you got it. And I go, there we go. I'm telling you. I mean,
I really can't think of anything more motivating than having a sexual target.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I will manifest
Makes the world
this
go round.
motherfucking David Archuleta. I'm gonna Archuleta. How's the joke there? What's the you know where I'm going with this, and you guys can write the joke yourself.
I'm gonna arch his Letta.
No, I'm gonna Letta.
It doesn't really work.
Letta. I can't. I'll work on it anyway.
I don't see it, but you get yours, girl.
I don't know why.
He kind of looks like a teddy bear that like someone put syrup on and left outside.
He looks like every one of my cousins who sneaks out of the party to smoke a joint, like in his truck, and won't let anybody in his truck, and then goes around passing out his gardening ad to the people in my neighborhood. That's very specific because it actually happened at a party.
I don't know. I mean, I have those cousins too.
Anyway. Kitty Scott Claus, UK Season 3.
There is no item of clothing that disgusts me more than ruffle socks. And she was wearing ruffled socks.
Yeah.
They remind me of like going to communion with like all the girls in their white ruffle socks at church. I hate ruffles.
I think they're gross too. They're gross too.
They're the worst things that have ever been made. And why the fuck was Kitty Scott Claus wearing them? And she had her initials on her bodice. I was like, everything about this look, throw it away.
I never thought about it, but you're right. I'm with you on that.
I hate ruffle socks. I hate ruffles, actually.
A potato chip?
The chips are okay. The chips are okay.
Is she the one? Because and I think this will be important later. Is she the one that RuPaul just? Because okay, I'll be honest with you. When it comes to the UK queens, there are like 3 or 4, maybe even more, doughy, pasty, white, chubby queens. Not chubby, but they're just doughy. You can't wait
to call a bitch doughy. You cannot. Who taught you that word in the last couple weeks? Because it has been on the tip of your lips all week.
I like dough. Anyway, there's one in particular that RuPaul just thinks is fucking hilarious. Like just anything she says. Is it Kitty Scott Claus?
Not Ellie Diamond.
Is it
it's Lawrence Chaney. It's
Lawrence Chaney. It's okay. Good. So this will be. I needed to know that just not for here, but for later. It's Lawrence Chaney. You're right.
There was like literally no way that Kitty Scott Claus, and for several reasons, but mostly was never going to win season 3 of UK, which was because her archetype had literally just won the season previously.
Yes, 100%. You're right. And then finally we have Alyssa Edwards from US season 5 and All-Star season 2, 2 of, if not the most iconic seasons in the whole franchise, in the top 3. Robert, your thoughts on her entrance?
I adore Alyssa Edwards. I don't think I've ever really even said this, but I think she's genuinely in like my top 5 favorite queens of the entire gamut. Like the whole to-do, she's up there.
Well, look, here's the deal, and we can pick this right now, but right now they have, the International Hall of Fame, the International Pavilion at the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame and blah, 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 right?
Yeah. Which they joked was in Daytona, Florida, Daytona Beach, which why would any of the international queens get that joke? There's just issues with the format, I think.
Here's the thing. Let's make a proverbial Mount Rushmore of Drag Race. So there's only 4 presidents on there? Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. We can speculate who the other 3 would be, but I would say without a doubt, Alyssa Edwards is on that Mount Rushmore of Drag Race. I'm not saying of all drag. I'm just saying of Drag Race. Do you know who's on the other 3, Robert?
Does RuPaul get a spot, or is it contestants only? That's hard, dude. I like her, but I'm not a stan. I'd probably have to put Trixie up there.
I'd agree with that.
Come on.
Okay.
Maybe not in the Drag Race canon, but just
I know what you're saying.
Imagine if this gets unveiled and the Trixie stans don't have Trixie. It's going to be like a Taylor Swift concert. Yeah. Exactly.
Alaska?
I would want to put Bob up there, but I don't know if Bob's that foundational to this. It'd probably be more Bianca than
Alaska.
Bob. Not Alaska.
No, not Alaska. Oh, not Alaska.
No. I think if you had asked me that 5 years ago, I'd say Alaska for sure. But I feel like her position has kind of been usurped, to be honest with you. Plus, if it was just the top 4 or 5 of All Stars 2, then we'd also put Roxy and Detox up there.
So we don't know who
It's hard to say, really. I just know that Alyssa would definitely be up there.
I know you can do this on Spotify. I don't know.
Jinx.
Oh, Jinx Monsoon 100. So now there's only 2 spots left. Yeah, 100% Jinx, 100%.
But they can't all be white women.
Yeah, look, I didn't say they had to be. I don't know who the other 2 people are.
No, I know. But if we were to pick the biggest fan favorites, then I don't know.
Okay, who would be the big... So Bob would be up there for the Black Queens.
I think so. It would make sense if it was BB, but fandom
run
doesn't
BB.
for her like I do.
Oh, really?
I love that bitch. Deep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
I would have, before all the sexual assault stuff, I would have put Shangela up there because I think she had a great Drag Race storyline.
Latrice can be the
she
mountain.
Contributed so much. Well, it's a sacred mountain.
Look, here's the thing, and look, maybe I'll be surprised. The show has never failed to surprise me, even if I agree or disagree with the decisions. But I mean, just the charisma she's coming in with is just give her the fucking crown already. And I think even the contestants.
It was the Alyssa Edwards meet and greet. Well, remember you said that maybe this is more of a showcase for how international runners-up could compete against Alyssa Edwards and hang with the big dog, so to speak.
As much as I hate this fucking Kween Kong, I hate her, and I don't think she should have been tied with Alyssa. If she goes home episode 3, she can go back home and say, I tied with Alyssa Edwards to win that episode.
That's true.
That's gonna be in her
and
clip
she won
package,
money.
Of Alyssa holding her hand up like Apollo Creed. I don't know if that ever happened in Rocky.
I would want that.
Oh, you're a big fan of Apollo?
No, Alyssa.
Yeah. All right. Later on the main stage, RuPaul announced the grand prize of $200,000 US, and that no queen would go home for this maxi challenge. The queens in part 1 of the talent show were as follows: Athena Leakes, Miranda Le Brao, Kween Kong, Soa Demuse, Kitty Scott Claus, and Alyssa Edwards. Later in the workroom, the girls marvel at being back in the workroom. The girls are gagged that Alyssa Edwards is in the competition. Alyssa has no clue who the other contestants are. Tessa Testicle talks tea about her testicles. Athena and Pythia bond over their Greek heritage, and the girls wonder aloud whether some contestants have an advantage based on their prior relationships with RuPaul. Finally, it's talent show day, and the girls get ready for the main stage. Later, Kitty shares who she would shag, marry, and kill. Roberto Mata, let's take this piece by piece here. Did you get the feeling this episode, and we'll even kind of leak into the next episode, we don't want to talk about on the next episode, that so far what we've seen in the workroom seems that Alyssa's doing a meet and greet every time she's in the workroom?
I thought I said that 2 minutes
ago. You did?
ago. I thought I did.
Maybe you did. I'll find out in editing and take it out.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I was probably speaking over you. But yes, I agree, Joe. What a novel idea.
Yeah. And okay, so we have that. I love too. It's so cringy. This fucking Kween Kong is like escorting the Alyssa Edwards around the room. She goes, Alyssa, I need to tell you, it is an honor to be here. It's my favorite part of being in the workroom is seeing you here. Alyssa's not even acknowledging her existence, even though she's walking with her, and she's just walking, and she goes, Alyssa, what does it feel like to be in the workroom? And I think she's hoping for some reciprocity. And she's like, yeah.
Who is it?
And then Alyssa's just like, it looks great. It feels like being at a reunion. Meanwhile, she doesn't know who anybody. She doesn't know anybody. They cut to a confessional. She's like, I gotta be honest. I haven't really kept up with the international franchises.
Which is, no one should be surprised.
Why would she? She's busy.
Imagine Alyssa Edwards sitting at home watching Drag Race.
I don't think she watches the U.S. Drag Race.
No, I
She's
doubt
like BB.
it. Mama's booked.
Yeah. So, what did you think about any of those moments?
There was this one that I don't know if this was an intentional reference, but if it was, hats off to Tessa Testicle. But there was this moment. Do you remember? It was one of those YouTube series. I think it was like Ring My Bell or something, where like the queens would pick up the phone and they would talk to people.
Yes. Oh my God. I forgot about that.
I know. I'm like really dating myself here, but there was this one with Alyssa Edwards where she picks up the phone. I would probably break up with myself pretty quickly because I would be too independent for myself. But Alyssa picked up the phone and someone asked her, what is Alyssa's secret? And she ended up saying it's 9 inches and fully functional. And for some reason, that quote has always stuck out with me. And when Tessa was telling the story of possibly almost losing a testicle, and Alyssa says, oh my God, do you only have one? And Tessa said, no, I have another one and it's fully functional. And something about it rang like she was repeating Alyssa's quote back to her. It's probably not at all what was happening, but that's what happened in my head.
I mean, I don't think you're totally wrong. Tessa is the right age. Oh, that's the thing. A lot of these queens, and that's what's weird, is a lot of these queens, not that they necessarily got into drag because of Alyssa Edwards, but it's like if I went to go do stand-up comedy and Jerry Seinfeld showed up, and it's just like, oh shit, like that's who you looked up to.
Yeah.
Or even if it was like Louis C.K. or Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. And I think consumed a lot of the content like you did. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was intentional. I didn't pick up on it, but what do I know?
I mean, maybe I haven't seen a Reddit post about it. So maybe
then it doesn't exist.
False parallels. But anyways, I thought it was strange. I guess I'll take this opportunity to talk about how it was just, I don't know about the editing decision to intersperse the introductions throughout the episode rather than have them all roll through at the beginning. It was a very disjointed episode. There were a lot of strange editing decisions this episode. For one, like, why the hell are there so many tight shots of all the queens? Like, back the fucking camera up. And this, like, it felt like it was an amateur editing team, and they made the new decision to have introductions happen mid-conversation with very little lead-in, and it was just
even from an editing
point
of view, the packages weren't even paced well. It was like you got one with Alyssa, and then nonsense, and then one, and then literally, if you want to know why talent show day, I only said that we talk about Kitty Scott Claus and who she would shag, marry, kill. It's because then they crammed in like 3 on talent show day. Like one right after the other, like, and it was just like it wasn't even paced well.
No, the worst one was when Kween Kong was about to open up the show, and then we just suddenly cut to her shirtless on the beach.
Yes,
what's going on? And they also just didn't pick obviously it's a challenge because they have to go through 8-10 seasons, if not more, to find like the best moments of each queen. But like they didn't pick the best moments of each queen for those retrospectives. They just picked random shit.
Yeah. And then
which is fine.
It wasn't as much of a problem on this episode as next episode, but like the sound, I was like,
oh no, it was a problem this episode.
Alyssa, if I were Alyssa, I'd be pissed. But
if I was Alyssa, if I was Kitty, if I were Queen, I couldn't. We'll get into it.
But okay, well then there's that, and then I want to talk because some of the contestants, I don't know who they are. I know the Brazilian one was one of them. They're talking about
Miranda Le
some
Brao.
of these queens. They were on shows that RuPaul judged, so they have an advantage.
I agree with that perspective.
Apart from Alyssa, do you think RuPaul has any memory of who the other two girls are?
I don't think. Now, to answer your question obliquely, was Ru underpaid for this season? He just could not give less of a fuck about any of it.
Well, I thought it was really weird. Maybe you would know because you deal with this kind of stuff. I wonder if it was for visa reasons or whatever. But they filmed this one at the Paramount's Columbia studios. When I say Columbia, I mean in the country of Colombia.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they got RuPaul to go to Colombia? Like, why not do it in LA? Again, you would probably know, probably just for visa reasons, I imagine. But like,
I think also they had the stage set up.
Yeah, maybe. And so,
but it does make sense for visa.
And
too many O1s to get for the US.
Yeah. So I was even shocked by that. So it just seems she's phoning it in all the time, you know.
But this was like extra. I don't think she's ever been less interested. And she has like a very terse way of dealing with people who are speaking English when it's not their native tongue. Like she was so frustrated with Adriana Lima for not giving a quip and for just giving an earnest, like, I love you. Thank you for having me here. Like you could see her face crack. And she did that with all the other queens who were also coming up with their quips. It was just uncomfortable.
Well, look, when you were talking about the first one, Athena Likas, when she came in, she made that joke about RuPaul being older than chicken and an egg. And I'm not sure RuPaul got it. Because she said, I think she said something, I'm not a scientist, and then RuPaul's answer to that was, I think you are a scientist. Like, I'm not even sure RuPaul was really listening totally.
It was honestly all just a very awkward combination of sentences. Right. But it's all right. They're getting off their feet. So you think
that they do have an advantage because RuPaul judged them?
Well, I agreed at first, and now I've turned into thinking that RuPaul's apathetic to everyone except maybe Alyssa, so maybe it's not that much of an advantage.
I don't think it's that much of an advantage. Because RuPaul was so shocked by this barrel roll, I think RuPaul was genuinely surprised by the barrel roll. She's like, what?
I was going to quip the same,
She doesn't remember ever seeing that or anything like that. All right, now it's time for the Global Talent Extravaganza. And we'll go through them one by one. And I have... Oh, wait. Yeah, we already did that. Oh, there was something I missed here.
Bring it up.
When RuPaul announced about the talent show, they were splitting up in two, Vanity Vane goes, oh, now I can watch what they're doing, so help me decide what I'm going to do. Who is she fooling? You know exactly what you're going to do. Thank you.
I think she meant like she just needs an extra oomph, an extra push.
All right. Okay, so let's go down the list first for the talent show. Kween Kong came out and did... Kween Kong came out and did a lip sync to an original number about how rad she is. What are your thoughts on this, Robert?
Do you remember the All-Stars 5 talent show with Mayhem Miller?
Oh, when she clearly had not prepared? Yeah.
That was definitely the UK versus the World 2 talent show also. But this All-Stars 5 one was very similar. There was something going on with her words where she didn't know them. But the song has like a certain like a beat that it kept hitting. I am the queen. the queen of the party. And that
yes.
rhythm was very much present in Kween Kong's song. And to even further that point, Mayhem, this honestly, like it makes me descend into fucking cackles and giggles every time I think about it. Do you remember she couldn't, none of the words were distinct, and she was like, Osama bin Laden in those eyes, like, and that was her talent show. The audio quality was so horrible on Queen's song that I honestly felt like a redux, which made me laugh really hard, but I didn't think it was fierce. I was just, and she wasn't like punching any of her dance moves hard. It felt like a rehearsal.
Yeah.
But the judges lived for some reason. So, and I know you love me talking shit, but that's just what I saw.
You just made me realize Mayhem and Kween Kong have a lot in common.
You do like that line of thought, yeah.
She's never talked about this, but I think it really bothers Mayhem Miller that Adore gets the credit for Party. Because the way when she came back, she kept trying to reclaim Party. And I give her, look, I'll say this. It was her original thing, and Adore used it on TV first, and so she gets the credit. But it reminded me of Kween Kong talking about her Fakakta ancestors. The way she would constantly say party or party this or party that. And it's just like, sorry, Adore took it. Right? One.
Okay. Who took the ancestors?
I would find my way. So anyway, what I want to talk about is there's a part where Kween Kong lifts up one of the little Colombian dancers on her shoulder. And then they cut to one of the drag queens going, she picked up a whole ass man. Okay. First of all, her name is Kween Kong. If you've never seen her before, you would know she's even acknowledged. She named herself Kween Kong because she is a giant cisgendered man. She's a giant. Look, if this
is she that giant?
The one? I won't say which direction.
She definitely has thick thighs. I'd say work it, girl.
Who's the one that was on the last season of All Stars and she was wants to date Vanjie? What's her name?
Nino. No. Gottmik. Who are you talking?
Look, if Gottmik lifted up one of these dudes, I'd be like, oh my god, what the fuck, right? But Kween Kong picked up a little pocket gay and put him on her shoulders, and they're like, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, right? And
I mean, I thought drag was not a contact sport. Now we can throw bitches over our shoulders?
Who cares? She put him on her shoulders. Who cares? She's a giant man in a dress.
I thought it was actually kind of funny in the sense that I was like, if that's a talent, then I also have a talent prepared for
what's your talent?
Drag Race Global All-Star. Picking bitches up and putting them on my shoulders, apparently. No. Did you think I'm at fucking Coachella putting up a twink on my shoulder? No. Or a toddler at Disneyland?
BT dub. I don't like lip syncing to original songs, especially not like that. I think that's 2 out of 10. She gets 2 out of 10 in my book. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you to score anything. You don't have to do a score. I wrote down scores on my own.
Okay. I would protest a 2.
I think it was a little bit.
I think it was a little better than a 2.
I don't like her, and she gets a 2. I'll be honest with you. I worry that she was lucky she got the 2. She was lucky she got the 2. I'm gonna give her a 0.
She should say thank you.
Miranda Le Brao. She did a trapeze act. Thoughts?
I remember a common, maybe not common, but a critique they've given a few queens in the past is that the judging panel felt safe with them. I did not at all feel safe with Miranda's trapeze act. I was worried for her the whole time. She was shaking. She hadn't yet given her backstory about the fact that her muscles have given out. So like, I feel bad for thinking that, but my first impression was homegirl's gonna fall and I'm stressed and this is not me feeling safe with an entertainer. But the girls lived for it in the end.
That's why I'm saying, and now we know that they knew the backstory. You don't think they didn't know? And there's this backstory, and she was, she did the thing with the muscles and the trapeze, and she felt 8 out of 10. Loved it because it wasn't a fucking lip syncing to original song, and it was a thing we haven't seen before. And I couldn't do that. Could you do that, Robert?
Probably give me some time. I think I could do anything with a couple weeks, but probably much longer than that. I'd be looking like Robin in Batman Forever.
I would look like the little bear in Country Bear Jamboree, but you're too young for that because they
Why
still...
the fuck do you know what the country bears are?
Well, they used to have it at Disneyland, and they got rid of it. Now it's only at Disney World.
Oh, that's right.
But at a certain point, a big fat girl bear comes out of the ceiling on a trapeze, and she sings a song.
Oh, that's fierce. Oh my God. Well, I'm watching it the second time because I rewatched it much like you did because I knew that she wasn't going to fall and that I had already heard her backstory about how her muscles are leaving her. I enjoyed it significantly more, and I could have seen it in the top for sure.
100%. 100%. You have to understand something. How sad if you're not in the top 2. You had a 1 in 3 chance of winning. And if you didn't, pretty much. And I feel that this trapeze was worthy of being in the top 2. I'm just telling you. Kitty Scott Claus did a live singing act. Your thoughts here?
The most by the numbers number, I would say. At least she got rid of those fucking ruffle socks. But instead, she was holding bleach.
Yeah.
Again, mushmouth, bad audio quality mixing. Why the fuck was she holding bleach? I wanted to hold bleach by the end of the number.
You wanted to drink it.
But I didn't get it.
Look, she gets some points because she sang live, which is a talent. She's not a good singer.
It was definitely giving 2 a.m. at 2 Brewers several gin and tonics in.
But so I gave it a 5 out of 10.
It's generous.
Athena Likis, she did what the fuck did she do? Was that the burlesque act?
She did an avant-garde burlesque act.
That's what you're right. A comedy burlesque act is what I have here. Your thoughts on that?
My question here is, why was Michelle Visage's face on car inflatables? Used car lot inflatables.
Well, wouldn't people ask, why is Michelle Visage's face on the judges panel?
I don't mind that. I don't mind Michelle at all, but I didn't get the through line. What was the concept? And I watched it twice. Apart from being outwardly silly, which I love. I liked it. I don't think I really have made an academic assertion there.
When you go to Europe or South America, there's an absurdism that we just don't get, For sure. And I think they get it and they're like, ugh. Yeah, I get you. I don't get it. Especially that, here's the thing, too. I could see if there was one that was Michelle and one that was Jamal. But why 2 Michelles? Why 2 Michelle? That's the thing I don't get.
I liked it, but I didn't fully understand it, which is probably the point.
I put silly. I put different. 7 out of 10. Yeah.
Damn, your numbers are so arbitrary.
Not arbitrary at all.
Not that they could be any. All right, what's the rubric?
If I like it or not. That's my rubric. Soa Demuse, live singing as well.
This one was kind of unfortunate because Soa won her talent show in France season 1 doing a cabaret number, but it was just so much more powerful than this one. Again, I think victim of mixing, it didn't convey, and then she was suddenly dancing.
You couldn't hear her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she did some weird ass dance.
It was strange. I could have seen what I think was it Vanity who told her in Untucked that it was magic and a magical performance to behold, and maybe that was true in person, but on the screen I was like, oh, this is not fantastic.
And then finally we have Alyssa Edwards, who lip synced.
Wait, what was your ranking on Soa?
5 out of 10.
Okay. Damn, these are low numbers.
I'm a tough judge. Alyssa Edwards.
Clearly,
Alyssa Edwards,
it's very difficult to
original
please.
Song with the flash dance ending with the liquid on her. Your thoughts? Unfortunate sound mixing, but that might have been. We probably actually heard what they heard in the studio. It probably sounded like that.
Maybe. It probably was a live feed, honestly, which is such an amateur mistake. Well, they've done Mexico. They've done this Colombian team. They've done Mexico. They've done Germany. They've done Brazil. Why do they not know what they're doing?
Especially since she's lip syncing, couldn't they have called Alyssa or said, "Can we get that track so we can just put it over the audio because it didn't work?"
At the end, I did. It's hard because Alyssa Edwards isn't really known for knowing the words like she's not pointing at her mouth like Coco, but she missed like almost every single one of her words after the Flashdance moment, which I thought was funny because it's Alyssa. But I thought she reminded me of the season 3 challenge, the 80s aerobic thing that they did, which was a lot of fun then, and it's still a fun concept now. It's like a much better version of what Orion Story and Deja Sky thought they were doing in their talent shows. Not to compare queens, but just Alyssa knew what she was doing. There was one moment where I wonder how much input Alyssa had into this song. I very much doubt she wrote it, but there was a lyric that was a reference to UK season 2, which I very much doubt Alyssa's seen, where she says that the eyes are the tits of the face, which is a Bimini Snatch Game reference. And did Alyssa watch that? Did she write that lyric? That's what I want to know.
I would say Alyssa's not writing lyrics.
Could you imagine though?
Did she watch that season?
Like, wouldn't that be so funny if Alyssa doesn't know any of these queens, but she happened to watch that Snatch Game episode and she just loves that answer so much that she had to incorporate it into her tongue pop song?
Yes.
Ranking.
Look, I typically hate lip syncing to original numbers, but it's one of the things where it's Alyssa. She just exudes the charisma that you need to ride over that wave. Also, too, if I'm being honest with you, yes, I have a problem with lip syncing to your own original song, but particularly when those songs are taking themselves too seriously,
Sure. Like a bitch
track. Like a bitch track, right? This one was not taking herself seriously. And so I think I appreciated it more. I think she should have been in the top 2, 8 out of 10. To me, the top 2 should have been Miranda Le Brao and Alyssa Edwards. Thank you.
I would be down for that timeline for sure. I think Miranda's probably the queen who I came out, apart from obviously my childhood wonder for Alyssa, I think I came out liking Miranda the most.
Yeah, well, we all know I did. There's something I have about her being burned.
Do something about it later.
I'm not even joking. Like, I really got really turned on that she was. You know what? I don't know. I have to talk about it with my.
We definitely need to interrogate this because I don't know what that says. How do you feel about Two-Face?
The Batman character?
Yeah.
He was played by 2 people, by Harvey Dent, the name of the character, by this
I know who Harvey Dent
the guy from what's his name from I came up on a recent episode of one of our shows.
Talking about Aaron Eckhart.
That was the one from the Christopher
Dark
Nolan
Knight
ones.
Rises.
But then the Tim Burton ones, well, I don't know if it was his, but like Billy D. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
No. You know who I am thirsty for.
Wait, Billy D. Williams?
Billy D. Williams. But you know who I am thirsty for.
Two-Face?
No. I never was into this Bill Skarsgård in this new Crow movie. Oh my God. He's one burn away from me masturbating to him.
I don't know where any of this comes from, girl.
I don't know.
He's played by Tommy Lee Jones, by the way.
Who did Billy D. Williams play in Batman? Oh, you know what? I think there were
Two-Face.
2 Harvey Dents.
Isn't Billy D. Williams Lando Carlson?
Yeah, no, I think there were 2 Harvey Dents in that era of Batman. I think Tommy Lee Jones.
There was a black Two-Face.
What they were doing. Okay. Tommy Lee Jones took over when they actually did. Tommy Lee Jones actually did it when he was Two-Face. Okay. But when they were establishing the character before he became Two-Face, Billy D. Williams played Harvey Dent before the accident, before they'd established it.
That doesn't make any sense.
A billionaire dresses up as a bat, and this is the part where you are now going to call bullshit?
I mean, it's very confusing. Why is Billy D. Williams in it? I don't know. Are you sure?
I'm looking it up right now. He does a lot of Lego things, so you got to go past all that and go to the 80s. God, he does a lot of video games. Who knew? Okay, here we go. 90 Batman 1989, Harvey Dent.
I'm so confused.
The runway.
Chris O'Donnell will forever live in my heart.
Runway category is Garden of Eden. Any big thoughts on these runway looks?
It was a very standard runway. I don't know why they decided to start with that, unless they wanted to make a statement about biblical Genesis, which I kind of doubt they do.
Mm-hmm.
But why was there an English rose in the Garden of Eden?
Because she had to die. I was trying to make a Princess Di joke.
You.
It's just already awful joke. I'm so sorry.
It was just everyone came out in with bedazzled apples, basically. Yeah. And then Katie Scott Claus came out as an English rose, which I guess is great for breaking away from the bedazzled apple. But why an English rose? Maybe there's some kind of English Garden of Eden thing. Like the Garden of Eden was not in fucking England.
Okay, where was it,
or
Robert?
Anywhere else?
Okay, I was like,
even like holding internal logic consistent, it just doesn't make any sense. That's my thought on the runway, because everything else was very.
The first look, I don't know who the first. Oh, I do know who the first look is. Athena Leakey's.
She was in a gag.
She's having gag time. She has a voiceover where she says, "This is my homage to like women being suppressed and all this stuff," and like literally, and this is camp. She says this kind of serious thing. She goes, "This is my homage to women who are like oppressed. Thank you." And then Michelle goes, "Her stomach's in knots."
That's the whole fucking like. It's your favorite queen, Kween Kong, saying this. I bring my ancestors with me everywhere. This shows the sanctity and the solemnness of my people. And then Michelle's like, "We were rooting for you." And without any break in between, and it's so. Also, like Michelle gives like the most tired fucking references that she just yells out all the time, like she's drunk at drag brunch. It's just but I still like Michelle. I realize I'm criticizing, but like the runway was really short, and choosing to put Michelle's quips in there, of all things, was probably not the greatest decision.
So, what I think I'm very curious about in terms of the choices here, because people are saying fuck and this all over the place. Paramount Plus, they're cussing, talking about fucking and this and that. And then RuPaul goes, "Next, Tessa T." RuPaul won't say testicle? And she said her own name and talked about her torsion and all that, but she goes, Tessa T. I don't, it was really awful. All right.
We'll see how that evolves. Yeah, because I was also a little confused.
On Untucked, the girls who didn't perform share their opinions on the show they witnessed. When the performing 6 girls enter the workroom, they discuss their critiques. The contestants call Alyssa a star, and Alyssa tears up at the thought of RuPaul calling her a star. Yeah, Alyssa just totally ignores that they're talking. Later, Tessa makes a bid to be a member of the House of Edwards, and Miranda Le Brao shares her history as a burn victim. Any thoughts on Untucked, Robert?
Just that you got your rocks off, I guess, at that.
Oh my God, I was so turned on. Funny though, I hate this Tina Burner.
Well,
don't like her.
Well, maybe she should come out in a burn victim look. I would say that Untucked was only concerned with making sure that every girl got praised, and then it also served the only thing that resembled a storyline this episode, which was Alyssa Edwards being the main character. This whole episode was about
What did
Alyssa.
you think about Tessa making a very obvious ploy to be in the House of Edwards?
Exactly what I said earlier. She's a snotty, like, rabble-rouser, and that fits her persona perfectly. Like, the kid wants to be invited to the cool kid table.
Look, I can't say anything. I just told you, I told an industry friend that in a few months, I'm going to be making a play for this David Archuleta, and I'm going to use him to get me into the world of David Archuleta. I can't say shit.
Sure.
It's like, you could try, but it was a little cringy to watch, I'll be honest with you. It's probably what it felt. People like,
well, is the House of Edwards even like a big thing anymore? That's like so 10 years ago.
It was Shangela, Gia, and Laganja, right?
Yeah. Vivian Panay.
Oh, really? I didn't know Vivian Panay was in the House of Edwards.
Well, she would hand Alyssa her wrinkles. She was her assistant. Okay.
So is this real?
I'm not lying.
It's weird.
I mean, I wasn't like in Dallas, Texas with them giving firsthand account, but yeah. Even then, I remember the day that Gia was indoctrinated into the House of Edwards in like one of those YouTube videos, much like the Ring My Bell video. Just old, silly.
We don't have that anymore. They're all too.
We really don't. It's all TikTok
they're all
shit.
Too savvy.
It's all like, oh, you want to go hang out with queens? Go to Mistress Isabel Brooks's live where she just trolls like she's on Tumblr as a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Which is funny to lots of people. Just
All right, on the main stage, RuPaul names Alyssa Edwards and Kween Kong as the top 2 All-Stars of the week. This forces them to battle out in a lip-sync battle for the globe. The song, The Only Girl in the World by Rihanna. In the end, RuPaul called the lip-sync a tie and split the prize money between the 2 girls. Roberto Mata.
This Roberto Mata.
Any final thoughts on the episode?
The first time I watched it, I definitely walked away, like I said, kind of glowing because I was so fucking thrilled to see Alyssa Edwards perform in that disco ball look and hair and like I literally time traveled to my youthier youth. But it was just an amateur attempt at starting a whole new franchise, and I was really disappointed by it in terms of production. But then when I rewatched it, I had already adapted to all of their weird decision making, and I think I'm good now. Like all the quips and criticisms I had throughout the last hour, provided they don't make worse ones, I think I'm probably good to not critique it moving forward.
So the one concern I have moving forward is Alyssa is at her best when she feels she's among peers. So season 5, she felt she was among peers. All Stars 2 she certainly was among peers. And this one, she can tell, she's the only girl in the world. And I don't know if that makes for necessary. I love seeing Alyssa, and anytime but unless she's every single moment of the show, which makes for a bad show. I mean, like, I'm very curious to see how it works. I think Alyssa works best when she's with peers.
I mean, I would love if anyone felt bold enough to be able to call Alyssa out for her shenanigans. Because, I mean, that's what made so many of Alyssa's iconic moments from 5 and All Stars 2 was like Jay Jolie, like being nasty to her, obviously the Coco feud. And then similarly, like Fifi coming for her throat in the, mirror moment and all that other, like all of this stuff comes from conflict. And if Alyssa's final evolution drag persona is what we're seeing right now, is that queen gonna, 1, be approached for conflict, and 2, engage in such silliness and foolishness?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I agree with you.
Because it's giving maternal, mom of all the, like, passing the buck to all these new international drag queens. And she just won't want to sully herself with fights. Even though I would live to see her just tell a girl, like she told someone on that one show she was just on, like, you only live for the bottle.
Yeah,
or something like that.
And even too, I think conflict is a big part of it. But also, if she just feels comfortable enough in her own skin just to be silly, like some of the most, like, she wasn't even the conflict. The one where she was in her Annie Oakley wig, tumbling around the room,
for sure.
Or the one where she did the I don't know, the Biore face mask, but she had some sort of face mask on, and it was.
Oh yeah. Like when Korean skincare products started going really popular.
So anyway, but I don't think she feels that. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next weekend every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars Season 1. So for Roberto Mata and myself. All right, very good.
Oh, should I say it?
This Roberto Mata.
You gave me no indication that I should say it. I hope Kween Kong's having a good day.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This podcast was produced by Sabrina Vadabancourt. You can follow Robert Mata on Instagram at RAWB54. Follow Joe Batance on Instagram at Joe Batance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: April Pacheco, Astute Girl, Brad Coley, Derek Byers, Doofus Maximus, E. Smith, Efrain Barbosa, Emma, Phil Skit Pony, Flying Suki, Humble Pie, J. Thomas Plank, Kathy Zender, Lauren Eckert, Lucy Carrasco, Luke Stamen, Mary S., Mike Yeager, Nikki Baker, Mickey Pettit, Poppy Woods, We've Gotta Go Edita, Robert NYC, Sarah Yu, Runner Brandon, Tom Bombs, Traby Cosmos, and Troy Anderson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.